everyone, welcome back to Cowabunga Corner. In this episode, we are talking about the 4Kids Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. This series came out in 2003 and is a fantastic series, a blend between the Mirage comic and the original cartoon. And they have a lot of stuff. True, they don't have Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang, but they do have a lot of stuff that kind of gives you the feel of both, with the comedy added in, Cowabunga, every now and then they still had pizza. But this is a series that I know a lot of people who've actually given it a try do end up enjoying. Now, I am going to talk, since I've already done a review of the full series as a whole, I am going to talk about the first season of the 4Kids series. I remember the anticipation back in 2002. We're seeing glimpses showing up on the website of the designs of these characters. Going, ooh, okay, they look different. They look more square. They're edgier. What's with the no pupils? The turtles have pupils. What's with that? Yeah, in the comic books, that looks weird. There was so much talk of the changes. Just like we're going through with Nickelodeon now. People like going, I think I can get used to it. Or the people going, that just looks weird. How are they going to do that? So, then, we got little sound clips of each of their voices. And we're sitting there going, Raph sounds like he's from the movie. Mike sounds a bit different. Don's very good. These were just very short sound clips. We didn't have much to go off of at all. And I know we were getting all these little hints and teases. And then Fox held all their little teasers beforehand with the fake newscast. So we have all these different things coming up, and finally the series premieres. Starting off with the Purple Dragons. How could you go wrong with that? The scene you see in the very first clip of the first episode of the 4Kids series is a reflection of the first few pages of the Mirage Comics. True, they don't kill the Purple Dragon gang inside the 4Kids series, but they do, and I mean they really do catch the original lines, especially when you hear Mike Sinterniklaas' Leonardo going, they're wrong, we're not wearing costumes. It brought in the feel of the show. Okay? The show's a bit better than I thought it was going to be. I'm excited! I got really into what was going on with this series. And what really inspired me in the first season was the build-up. When we would go through entire episodes and see Shredder running things behind the scenes, pulling the strings of the foot and where the purple dragons and everything was going to be. But the turtles didn't know who he was. So we have the big blackout. We have them going against Baxter Stockman. We have them fighting the Purple Dragons. They even meet Hun before they even learn that Shredder's in the picture. I love the build-up through the first season. We have time before the turtles realize about the Foot Clan, as they get to meet April, get to hang out with her. They get to meet Casey Jones, and that episode is so much like the comic book that us fans were going, oh wow. I mean, we had a two-parter that covered the second issue of the Mirage Comics, where the Mousers and meeting April, it was a two-parter. And we're sitting there going, oh wow, we got the first episode where they're going up against the Purple Dragons, which is the first half of the first Turtle comic. And then we have the Baxter Stockman, April O'Neil storyline is episodes 2 and 3, Attack of the Mousers. We're getting excited. Things are going really well. And then we get to meet Casey Jones, Same way, Raph's off blowing some steam because he got into a major fight with Michelangelo during sparring. He accidentally goes to hurt Mike and realizes that he was going too far. He takes off for a breather, sees somebody else doing what he was doing, jumps in and gets in between the fight. And that's how Casey and Raph meet. That is a fantastic episode in itself with the motorcycle scene. Oh, I can go on about each of these episodes because they really had them written to where we could enjoy what we were seeing. We could be excited when we knew the turtles were going into a fight, and they held us. But Oroku Saki in that series, that season, had me so into what was going on. This seemed like the perfect Saki. There was one question I wanted to answer. It's not answered in that season or any other season. But the one question I wanted answered was, what got him onto the road of being a villain? And in the original Mirage Comics, as I expressed earlier, one of my favorite things is that we find out that since Saki was a kid, he was molded into the villain he was because of the death of his brother. I was hoping for something like that with this series. But that's season 2 where we find out about Shredder. So we don't need to go into that. In this season, it's the build-up of finding out where the turtles learn of Shredder. How the Foot become the turtles' mortal enemies. And in the episode where they first meet Shredder, I like how it's played out. Saki sends a calling card to Leonardo. Pulls Leo in and tells Leo how there is something much bigger going on. And how Leo and his brothers should work for him. He tries to bargain with the turtles, mainly Leonardo, and he sells himself to Leo. Leo's really sold to this. It's like, I'm interested. But when he finds out the true story from Splinter, they go to deliver their message, and that fight is a fight to watch. Mike gets hurt. Mike literally gets hurt. They go through so much in that first battle with the Foot, and that's just the beginning of it. They think they take the Shredder out. Splinter sends Shredder off the roof. But then, the Shredder comes back. But they have a few down episodes before the Shredder comes back. And one of my favorite episodes is hidden in those down episodes. Not really hidden. I talk about it quite often. Because if you read the Mirage Comics, they did the micro series. And there was the Donatello one. That got made into an episode. Oh, I was so thrilled with how that episode turned out. It was the episode where Don meets the guy down in the basement, Kirby, with the magical pencil crystal thing attached to his pencil, where he would draw something and it would come to life. If you watch that episode and compare it to the comic book, the art styles are similar. They picked up on Peter's art style to make that episode even more dedicated to the comic. What a great touch. So many references to Jack Kirby himself. Really, overall, love that episode. I think they did great. The one thing that I really found surprising was that if you watched it when it first aired, it had a different ending. When it went into reruns, it had a new ending because Peter went in and said that's not how it was supposed to end. And even on the DVD release, that new ending is in there, but the old ending is gone. So the only way to see the old ending is if you recorded it when it was first aired. Now, they have the Shredder Strikes Back, which is much like issues Leonardo micro series, number 10, and number 11. We go through it as the turtles move to the farmhouse. Not exactly the same, though. You know, they have their differences. They really do. But the fight scenes and getting to meet the elite guards and the turtles' reactions to their headgear, everything was done so well. I enjoyed it. I looked forward to seeing them at the farmhouse. It reminded me of the first film where they went there. And we got to see a few down episodes. There's the Monster Hunter episode where Mikey's mistaken as a monster in the woods, and there's this monster hunter that shows up, and it's just all these fun, different little side stories. The Tales of Leo is a really good episode there at the farm. It's where they're trying to get Leonardo to wake up. Leo got really injured in his fight against the Foot. And so they're all sitting there, and they each tell their own story of Leonardo as a kid. It's the first time we see the toddler turtles. And what an awesome touch that was. The way they handled it, I mean, it was exciting. You got to see each of them as kids, and you could see it. You could really see it. I mean, Mikey eating the onions and burping in Leo's face. Raph trying to be the leader. And Donnie with his remote control car. And it just was all very touching. And I love Splinter's story. I personally have a fear of heights, and I've been trying to break that for years. It's not easy to do. So I understood Leonardo inside that series where he had his fear of heights, and really I'm shocked that he was able to break it the way he did, because I've had to do similar where I had to go out on those rims and help something or go out there and face my fear for a few seconds, but a day or two later, that fear came right back. One of the things I've expressed on CowabungaCorner.com was about that fear. I wrote a full story about facing the fears and how when I go to a theme park, I have to rebuild up my tolerance for heights to go on any rides every single day. It's not something where I could just break and it's broken. It comes back. So I wrote a story about having to try and beat that fear, but when I see people on ledges, I don't want to see it. I will go off. If someone's on a ladder or something, I'll leave the area because I do get scared, and it's a fear that I can't control. So when Leonardo was able to get over his fear after having to go and help Splinter, I'm impressed in Leo being able to get over it that easy. But it was a great story, and it was an awesome build-up there. Because you got to see that Leo wasn't always the brave turtle that he's portrayed as in his older teens. So that is just one of those great stories. But we go back to the main storyline as the turtles return to New York, find out that Shredder thinks that they're dead, and raids there and takes Shredder's head. That shows that these turtles are willing to kill. Yes, yes, yes. Anyone who watched the series knows something else is going on here. In fact, those of us that saw it happen said something's up. In fact, the moment that happened, I guessed it. Yes, I guessed exactly where they were going. I even said it online. I said, I bet they're doing this. And I hope I'm wrong. I wasn't wrong. And the reason I was hoping I was wrong was it was too predictable. At least for me. Other people didn't see it coming. I'm like, when season 2 rolled around and Secret Origin jumps in there, I asked one of my friends, is Shredder in that episode? And they said no, but then I watched it and I said, yes, he is. So I knew where it was going. I saw it coming as soon as I saw the head roll and body get up and walk. I'm like, great. I wanted them to be more creative. I wanted them to give us a new twist. And while they think this was a new twist, it was something. It could have been done differently. But we go on now. That season is wrapping down, but a problem happened during that return to New York. Splinter went missing. Now, in the original comic book, Splinter went missing much early on. It was during the Attack of the Mouser stuff. Splinter went missing, and the turtles went through an adventure in trying to find him. Well, now we're ending the season with that. Splinter's gone missing, and they find out that their leads bring them to the TCRI building. What's in that building? They used the same trick they used inside the Mirage Comics to break in. Well, sort of. They used the same trick, but it didn't work on getting in. There was a problem with their original idea. So, it's a great season. There's still a lot of other episodes in here that did not go with this main storyline with the foot. We have the Garbage Man episode, which the Garbage Man is played by a guy named Mike Pollock. He did a great job. I mean, you could hear him like spitting during the voice because it's just so, yeah. There's a lot of depth to that voice. And we have an interview with him here on Cowabunga Corner you could check out. And I believe he does the voice there for everyone. We have the nanobot that showed up, which was actually voiced by April O'Neil. Veronica Taylor was the screaming nano. And so we have all these small things, but my favorite of the storylines that did not completely touch the foot goes to the Notes from the Underground, where the turtles go down and meet some monsters and need to help these monsters try and become human again. It's a really fun three-parter that you get to go on an adventure down underground and see a whole new world of the turtles' life. I enjoyed that a lot. It was a new storyline. It connected a little bit to the foot, but it was a forgotten area for the foot. The foot was like, okay, we abandoned this idea. It wasn't working. So we have all these great things here. I mean, this season is completely amazing. And if we're going to talk about the series, we got to talk about the DVDs. It's no longer on TV. So how else do you see it? You go out there and get the DVDs. Now, if we're going to say what DVDs to get, it would depend on what you want. Do you want just the episodes? If you want just the episodes, you can get out of this extremely cheap. They did a 2-disc. This disc here and this disc right here are these 2 DVDs where they just have the episodes. And you can usually find it for under $15 per a DVD. So under $30, you can have all 26 episodes of the first season of the 4Kids Ninja Turtles. But if you are more of a collector out there who wants to try and get the original DVDs, you're going to have to dig a little deeper. Because we're talking this handful here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 DVDs that have to do with the first season alone. True, they're all in order, but you just got to trade out your DVDs a little bit more than you do with this set here. Now, what's nice about collecting the individual DVDs is you have extra features. Yes, bonus features. Some of them have the fake news clips on them. Some of them have Peter Laird doing interviews. Others have commercials for the toys. So you have more bonus features on the individual discs that have like 3, 4, maybe 5 episodes at the most. But with the main sets here, you get, about 13 episodes per a set. And that way you have all of the episodes, bam, bam, bam. I enjoy being able to say, I've got all the DVDs. I collected them as they came out, and then I collected the season sets as they came out. If I'm going to show the series to my friends, yeah, I'd rather pop in the season sets. But if an actual true fan comes over and starts wanting to see some of the bonus features, yeah, I'll pull out those old DVDs and say, yes, here's an interview with Peter, or yes, here's the fake newscast. So everything's on these DVDs are on the green original release ones like this here. Now, they did have to do other releases because at one point, a bag of mine that had 2 of my DVDs in it was stolen. And I had to replace them. So I went on Amazon and I bought the another one of the very first disc of the series. And then I also had to buy the Casey Jones one again. But the Casey Jones one has a black case. So I'm guessing that the second releases or other releases later down were in black cases instead of the normal green case. Because normally I'm looking for this color green when I'm looking for the 4Kids series. This here is all of season 1 of the 4Kids Ninja Turtle series. And is a fantastic season. It's enjoyable. It's fun to watch. It's a lot more of a mixture than people give it credit. Most people say it's too dark. But if you actually watch the series, you see the humor in there too. I love the bickering between Raph and Mike throughout the series. You can really see it in the Notes from the Underground episodes, where Mike's all scared about going down there, and Raph splashing him with cups of water and stuff. It's fun stuff. It really is. The humor behind it. Michelangelo designing the battle shell in the Casey Jones episode. This is good stuff. It's really well. The voice acting in it is brilliant. The animation is really, really, really well done. And best of all, most of it, I mean, storyboards and everything, was done right in New York City. So they don't need to imagine what New York looks like to put the turtles there. They actually live there. So scenes inside the show can be found in New York. We have a story on CowabungaCorner.com where I have pictures of the castle that they moved to in season 4. So, well, they moved underneath inside the sewer area, but still, the scenery that they're using inside the show exists. It's real. It's inspired by actual New York City. And overall, it's a great series. Peter was involved with writing and going over the scripts. The writers knew what they were doing. The characters are great. I cannot say how much this season especially is worth watching for any turtle fan. Give it a chance if you haven't. I know it's fun to enjoy one media, but if you branch out and check out some of the others, you might find something you enjoy. Something new. You might not find that you enjoy the same stuff from the other series, but there can be something here that you may find as a reason to continue watching. Next time here on Cowabunga Corner, we are going to do our season fan interview, where we get to interview several fans that we met at different events, find out what their favorite turtle is, how they became a turtle fan, what favorite collectible item they have, and any special message that they have for their fellow turtle fans out there. Hope to catch you guys here next week for our final episode of Cowabunga Corner Season 4.